Patch 8.4 is finally here. Only, what, a day and a half late? No big deal. It's only 70 degrees outside, and I'm inside making a video. Priorities. Priorities. So in this patch, there are a bunch of changes to items. More than usual, there's ability power item rework. So let's just get right into it. Lost Chapter. Now costs 200 more gold and gives 10% CDR. That's fine. No big deal, not completely game changing. Lost Chapter was already a pretty good item, helped you with Morellonomicon and everything. Now now you can build it into more things, which is good. But the one thing Riot seems to not understand is that players don't want to think in their games. They want to know what they're going to build before they get into the game. And in a week or two, everyone's going to forget about the options they have, and they're going to be playing with the optimal stuff because they think they understand what optimal is, but they do not. But that's an issue for another video. Luton's Echo. This one's for poking. No, it's not. New build path. Needlessly large rod is gone because of the increased cost of Lost Chapter. Etherwisp is gone. The movement speed is gone. Ability power reduced, and the total cost went up. So now you're paying 100 more gold for 500 mana and 10% CDR. But you lose 10% move speed and 10 ability power. Overall, this is a nerf to the item, and it's tough to say. Personally, I don't think that this item is as good as some of the other options you have, especially after all the reworks, but maybe I'll do that last. So Luden's Echo. Is this a buff? Is this a nerf? 10% CDR is nice, but don't think that's really game changing. You're giving up 10 ability power and 10 movement speed for 500 mana and 10% CDR. Just keep that in mind. Hextech GLP 800. This one's for catching. Sure it is. Removed. No more health. Okay. Eternity also removed. Stupid change. They should not have removed Eternity. That was a good thing. They should have kept that. Cooldown reduction 10%. Great. Because now people don't even have to think about CDR anymore. Fantastic. Less frosty. Frostbolt now only damages and slows first unit hit. That is a nerf. Longer winter. The slow lasts a little bit longer. Frostbolt cone narrowed by 10 degrees, but increased by 200. That's a buff, I think. The frostbolts are slower and slow for less. They slow for less for a longer period of time. So this is going to be interesting to track how many people actually start using Hextech GLP, because a lot of people don't pay any attention to patch notes, and I'm not sure how quick people are going to realize how much this changes the items. I think it's an indirect nerf to a bunch of champions too, which is kind of strange. Like, is Aurelion Soul still playable after this? It's just like a squishier Aurelion Soul now. I don't think that was necessary. So maybe Aurelion Soul is even less popular. Archangel Staff, one of the most underrated items in League of Legends, completely changed. And I hate it when Riot does this, because now the item is so different that if people start using it now, they're going to be like, oh, the change was so good for Archangel Staff. But Archangel Staff was already a great item, just no one used it. And just think about how they reworked this item. It costs 100 gold more, and you lose 30 ability power. Think about that. You lose 30 ability power. Riot is so confident that the rest of the changes are going to have people play it more that they had to take away 30 ability power because of how Seraph's Embrace works. Seraph's Embrace has 30 less ability power, and it's still going to be ridiculously valuable. So removing 30 ability power is removing 600 gold off of the peak value of this item, and is being replaced with mana, which is pretty good. That's an interesting change. And then just let's throw some CDR on it. So the reason I think it's interesting is because the mana, 400 additional mana right when you purchase it, is good for the champions who were already building Archangel Staff. Is it interesting? Most people don't like building a lot of mana unless you're playing Rise. But the way that Seraph's Embrace works, a lot of players should be building Archangel Staff and just like scaling with the item because the item itself is just so good. I'll probably make a video on Archangel Staff, just comparing the change and showing people the opportunity missed. Archangel Staff was so good. Leandri's Torment, rip Zyra. I'm very sad about this change. It could be good still. Zyra could still be fine, but this is going to take some getting used to. So, no longer grants flat magic pen. Wait, I thought the change was different than this. Into the tank bleeding item. Okay, so the flat magic pen is gone, which is a nerf. Damaging champions increases the damage you deal altogether by 2% per second until exiting combat. So a 10% damage buff is very good if you can stay in combat for that long. How long? I wonder how long most fights are or skirmishes are in lane, because it's probably shorter than you'd think. So then they updated the passive. Torment now deals 1% of the target's maximum health per second instead of 2%. That's a lot better than I thought it was. I thought that they were getting rid of it completely. I guess they're just updating it, so maybe they just decided to not get rid of it altogether. So then Haunting Eyes is also being changed. 10 more AP. No longer grants flat magic pen. And the 10% amplification. Okay, that's pretty good. So getting rid of flat magic pen, what does that mean? It means that in the early to mid game, Haunting Eyes gives less of a power spike against champions building MR. I think overall, most players who are using this item are still going to build it out of being used to it, and they're going to find ways to make Madness work. And I think Madness is pretty good. Maybe it's better in late game team fights, but I'm really also not sure how long the fights are going to last. Morellonomicon. Mana refund passive removed. That's fine. Flat magic penetration added. Okay, this is where we're getting our flat magic pen from. Grievous Wounds now applies to targets at all health. That's an incredible change. Morellonomicon is even better now. This is going to be a great item. Ability power decreased. Mana removed. Oh, that hurts. Who does this help? This is definitely going to help a bunch of champions that they're not intending to help. Morellonomicon was supposed to be the anti-healing item, but when it was also the best mana item and AP item and present in every game, it forced us to make the item more about the stats and less about the unique output it provided. So now it costs 100 more. The build path was changed. Now we have an Oblivion Orb in there, so we no longer get the 20% CDR. That's pretty big. So you would want to build Morellonomicon on champions who already have low cooldowns. Is this a buff to Cassiopeia? Maybe. I think this could just be a buff to some of the battle mages that have low cooldown. So you get rid of 400 mana. You get rid of the 20% unique cooldown reduction. There's so much CDR everywhere else in the build. It's just going to come down to whether or not this hurts people in lane too much where they can't build Morellonomicon anymore. But this is very good. Flat Magic Pen needed to go somewhere. Now it's on Morellonomicon and Oblivion Orb, I'm guessing. Yep, okay. Curse Strike. Magic damage dealt to champions inflicts them with Grievous Wounds for 3 seconds. I like Grievous Wounds a lot, and I think one of the problems in the current meta was that it was too difficult to get tanks down to the 35% threshold to prevent them from healing back up. And this isn't going to really hurt Warmogs that much because Warmogs, you already have to be out of combat. But Grievous Wounds being hurt is good. I mean, Grievous Wounds being more active and being easier to take advantage of is a good thing. Is this going to be a Rumble item? That's what I was thinking of. Rumble's making a comeback. But he's going to miss out on some stuff too. Morellonomicons with Rumble, with the Zanyas, and maybe Leandri still. Maybe that would work. Maybe Rumble's making a comeback. Now that Corky's back, they want to bring Rumble back too. That's fine with me. Interesting. Oblivion Orb, because Flat Magic Pen is cool. Okay, I'm not so I don't understand why they're moving this around. I don't know why you just change Leandry's instead of that just doesn't make much sense to me yet. So this is just Leandry's, I think, right? It's basically the exact same item. Or Haunting Guys. This is just basically Haunting Guys. Spellbinder. The more fighting, the better. Said no one ever. That is not true. Don't fight. Build path. Etherwisp, Needlessly Large Rod, 700 gold. A 2800 gold item. Okay, 100 ability power. Very good. 10% movement speed. So this is taking the place of Luden's Echo in the 100 AP slot. Nearby allied and enemy champion. Nearby allied and enemy spellcasts charge Spellbinder up to a cap. Gain a maximum of 30% decaying movement speed and 100 ability power for 4 seconds. What are you doing, Riot? Oh no. This is not good. This is not good for us. Ugh. Solo queue is going to be torture. Wow. Okay, so some things to keep in mind. Nearby allied and enemy spellcasts charge Spellbinder up. So this item is better when you're playing against 80 casters, playing against things like Corki, Ezreal, Lucian, good against champions that spam abilities a lot. This is the active is crazy. Gain 100 AP for 4 seconds. Do you like playing against Syndra right now? I'm going to assume no. Syndra is going to be so much more annoying now. It's like, oh, well, I've been standing around gaining spell charges for about a minute in lane. Now let me just run at you fast and click my ultimate, and you die. That's absurd. There's 200 ability power on this item. Why would they do that? 200 ability power for 2,800 gold? That is so dumb. This item is so good. Spellbinder is the best thing. The best thing right now. I don't care if it's for 4 seconds. 4 seconds is an eternity in team fights, especially when it gives you movement speed as well. Oh man, this is crazy. I do not like this. I do not like where this is going. I hope that I'm wrong and this is a garbage item, but it does not look that way. Even if you can't build this as a first item, even if it's a second item at best, you're spending 2,800 gold, and from ability power alone, you're going to get 4,400 gold's worth of value. A lot of that's tied up in the active, yes, but it also has utility. Gain a maximum of 30% decaying movement speed. So this can help you get out of bad situations and can turn a bad situation into a, well, I'm just going to turn and blow your face up. Crazy. I do not like this. Too much time spent on that one. Oh well. Twin Shadows. Twin Shadows is back in action. Fiendish Codex, Etherwisp, 650 gold, 2,400 gold. They got rid of the spooky ghosts on Frost Queen's Claim, and I like them. So now they're coming back. 7% move speed, 10% cooldown reduction. This is the kind of item, it's going to be good. It's going to be okay on supports, and it's intended to be a support item, but it's going to turn some weird champions into junglers, and that's probably still what they're trying to do. They want the AP junglers to come back, build a Runic Echoes into a Twin Shadows, and then you just gank people and they're slowed, and that could be annoying. That's probably not the optimal situation. Maybe it's just supposed to be a second or third item on supports. Good stats for the gold, I think. 60 AP times 22 is like, I wonder how much you're paying for this active. Probably a couple hundred gold. All right. These last few changes are efficiency adjustments to items that were a bit too strong or weak for their cost. Void Staff, 10 ability power is not going to change Void Staff. Void Staff, I explained this in one of my other videos. Void Staff with a death cap, they negate the bad stuff from each other, and they're just awesome. They're awesome items. So don't expect Void Staff to be hurt much by this. Like a Void Staff with a Spellbinder or something. Oh, that's so stupid because it's so cheap too. 2,800 plus what's Void Staff? 2,600. You just get those two items. Stand in lane, run around, blow somebody up. That's going to hurt. Death Cap. Minus 200 gold, and it's just a buff. This is typical Riot. They take away 200 gold. They increase the ability power by 5%. It's so stupid. Why do they do this kind of stuff? It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, who are the people in charge of tweaking items? And they're like, you know what? You know what item's pretty good, but people don't play it enough? Death Cap. Let's get everyone to build a Death Cap. Rumble. Mark my words. Rumble's making a comeback. Rylai's Crystal Scepter. Plus 10 AP. I wonder if they're just trying to make every ability power item just broken. Because if they're trying to do that, they're succeeding. Rylai's Crystal Scepter. That's going to be annoying. All right. Interesting item changes. All right, more item changes. My favorite. Ancient Coin now has movement speed. It's going to be good on the champions that already use it. I don't think it's going to take anyone who's used to building Relic Shield and convert them into Ancient Coin. Relic Shield, less health. So maybe they are trying to get people to use other stuff. Because right now it's brain dead. You don't need to actually think. You know what champion you have. You know which one is best for your champion. But maybe they want it to be more matchup dependent. Like, because move speed's nice sometimes. Tracker's Knife is removed. Ugh. Some people, some junglers out there who were not team players got buffed with this. Now they can build their other smites and not feel bad about it. Wit's End, cost decreased, on-hit damage increased. Max damage resist drain increased, but magic resist per stack halved on ranged champs. So you still take away 30 from the enemy, but you only get 15? If that's what it is, then fine. Okay, Keystones. Stat bonuses are now split evenly. Not split evenly. Now they're split for precision. So instead of 18% attack speed, you get 9% and some AD. Same for domination precision. Precision sorcery is slightly better than the other two. Sorcery precision. Okay, so, okay. Now, this is going to hurt AD carries that play auto attack champions, like instead of an AD caster. So maybe this helps out AD casters a little, and we'll see more of them in this patch. But I wouldn't expect it to change that much. Keystone, press the attack isn't pulling its weight on melee bruisers. We've been hesitant to buff it because we know it's broken, but we just didn't tell anybody. Thanks to its laning strength in duos. We're pulling back on the amp at early levels so that we can put more raw damage into the Keystone. I mean, what? So it's going to be... So you still need to do 3 auto attacks, and you're just going to get a 4% bonus in the early game? That's stupid. This is barely a buff. I don't know what they're... Oh, 180 at level 18. What's Electrocute? Okay. So just on base damage alone, Electrocute versus press the attack. In the early game, so throughout the game, Electrocute is still better than press the attack in terms of just the damage that's done without including the ratio. But you also have to think, what would you rather have? This amount added on to this one time, or you can have between 4 to 12% damage amplification on that target. This is obviously better. But people still don't play it. I don't know why, but they don't. I like fleet footwork. I like being able to be fast and get heals. Resolve. The resolve changes are cool. Unflinching has been moved to the vitality row. No one cares. After taking damage from an enemy champion, their next 3 spells or attacks against you deal 20 to 50 less damage. Bone plating is very, very good. This is a huge buff. So you have to pick between Bone Plating, Demolish, and Font of Life. Font of Life is going to fall away completely on most champions. Bone Plating is just too good. Honestly, Bone Plating might... You might want to take this on like an 80 carry. Like, after the Relic Shield nerfs and everything, maybe you can't really afford... maybe this makes it worth it for some other lanes to pick up Bone Plating. Because think about it. Like, if you're an 80 carry in a lane, in a matchup where you're going to get harassed, just take Bone Plating and Demolish. Or, wait, you have to pick it against this. So take Bone Plating and take Iron Skin. Or... I'd watch out for that. Demolish unchanged, Font of Life unchanged, Resistance. There are 4 runes in this row for now. Because Riot loves making decisions. Second Wind has been moved here from the Vitality row. Taking damage from an enemy champion you heal. So, I mean, yeah, so if you went Bone Plating plus Second Wind, I could see that being good. Vitality over... Not... Okay, so if you're using this as a secondary tree, it's a buff because you can take Bone Plating and Second Wind and you'll be good. But if you want to take 3 things, the third one's going to be worse. That's all I can really think of for that. Inspiration. So now you get stopwatch at 10 minutes. This is the kind of thing, again, where this might make players use it less often, but it's still so good. Like, stopwatch isn't worth 600 gold. Like, a year ago, 2 years ago, when you had to complete Azanias in order to get that active, like, it was still worth it. So you're getting a 29... Something that used to cost, like, 2,900 gold is wrapped up inside of a 600 gold thing that you can get for free as long as you wait for 10 minutes. That's still definitely worth it. It might not seem worth it, but it definitely is. It's definitely still worth it. Celestial Body is removed because no one used Celestial Body. What a stupid rune. Like, who thought that was ever going to work? Permanently gain 100 bonus health, but you do 10% less damage for the first 10 minutes. Are you insane? Riot doesn't think about these things sometimes. Time Warp Tonic. Your potions, elixirs, and biscuits last 20% longer. And you gain movement speed when you're using them. That's a really cool thing. Like, that's really cool. That's... Like, the whole point of the inspiration tree was to, like, do cool stuff. Like, bend the rules. And then you have Celestial Body where it's like, you don't do any damage, but you have 100 health. It was just stupid. It didn't even make any sense. They change... The outside blast cones spawn later. Good. Invading was too easy on some of these champions because you could just run in there, steal a buff, jump right out. Baron was buffed. Elder Dragon was buffed. But that's it. Damn, that took forever. Wow. All right, well, that's all I got. The items are going to be really cool. I'm going to do a separate video on the ability power items and some other things like that, but this was supposed to be fast. This was not fast. I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. If you like my patch rundowns, then let me know by liking and subscribing.